Hey, I'm Lindsay Lyman. I worked almost 12 years at Amazon and saw so many brilliant and successful overachievers burn themselves out and leave their jobs because they're so stressed and anxious. But guess what? Having a successful career does not have to be at the expense of your mental sanity and personal time. There's an easier way, and I can show you how. Let's do this. Hey y'all, how you doing out there? Okay, I know none of you have been dying to know an update, so I'm going to give it to you. But a few weeks ago, I got 30 yards of bark delivered. That is a truckload and a half. And it is so much bark. But you guys, it's so rewarding. It is so fulfilling. It's so fun to put all the bark down in my ugly, kind of full of weeds. You can see the bark paper, these like ugly beds all over my yard, and to have them look beautiful and clean and freshly barked. My little OCD ADHD heart just loves it. But it's also to the point of that project where it's the end part that I've been putting off to the last, and it's the hard part. And I'm so over it. Oh my gosh, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts. Like, I'm just tired of barking all the time. But I've committed to myself. There's a handful of projects I want to start, and I have committed to finishing the bark project before I start the others, because if I don't, the pile will sit in my driveway for weeks. I know myself well enough, so that's kind of my approach to making sure I finish out a project, is restricting myself from starting a new one, even when the fun part of the project is over. What fun projects are you guys working on? Hopefully it's something outside and you're enjoying some fresh air. We all need it. Okay, today's topic comes from my hairdresser, believe it or not. This was actually something I was kind of talking to her about, and she had told me, she's like, I listened to your podcast. And I don't know why, but I was a little bit embarrassed by that, but maybe that's what I need some coaching on. But she was saying how she finds it really helpful, even though she doesn't work in a corporate setting. Anyhow, we got to talking about this concept, and she was like, that's what you should do your next podcast about. So this one's for you, girl. I do think it's like such an important concept and something I've really been thinking about. It's really just kind of shaped what I want and how I feel. So I thought I would share it with y'all today. So if you think about your life, big picture, your career, your relationships, your home, your body, whatever, think about your life. What is it that you really want? Like big picture. Usually I hear things like health, happiness, love, healthy relationships. I want to travel. I want to serve others. I want to feel like I'm working for a purpose. I want to feel valued. Beautiful, great things. But I like to kind of push it and think about this a little bit deeper. One, I like to ask people, awesome, yes, let's have all the amazing humanness and experiences. I'm all in. But like, what is it that you really want? Like, what do you really want that maybe you're not willing to admit to other people? Sometimes it's fame. Maybe it's a certain amount of success, money, status, leadership. Maybe you want to like change your career. It doesn't matter, but like, what are those things you really want that sometimes you're not willing to admit to other people? It's okay to want those things. So what I was talking with my hairdresser about was she's getting ready to get married, and they're kind of figuring their life out and talking about what she wants out of life. And I was talking to her about this concept. And it's essentially this, like, think of kind of an amazing moment you would have if you had achieved those things that you say you want. Let's say maybe your goal is to be a really famous, successful leader of some sort. Okay. Imagine that moment when you're having kind of that like, aha, full circle, I've arrived, I've achieved, I've met this goal. Maybe it's you're on stage, there's cameras there, and you're presenting at some company all hands meeting, right? Maybe that's the moment you envision in your head when you're like, that is what I want to do. Maybe you want the goal of feeling valued. Maybe you imagine launching a product and getting some positive PR coverage. Maybe you're at an awards ceremony being recognized for your work. Maybe it's like a small moment you imagine seeing the impact the work you're doing is having on another person, right? But just imagine that moment where you're like, I have arrived, I've made it. Maybe what you really want out of life is to travel more. Like, imagine yourself on that amazing vacation. Where are you? You're laughing. What are you doing? How do you feel? Like, be in the moment. Maybe you want fame. Okay, side note. I love live music. Like, have a passion for it. If there's a concert, I'm in. I don't even care if I enjoy the performer or not. I had the most vivid dream after I went and saw Gwen Stefani back in the day. It was an arena show in Utah, and she had all these amazing backup dancers, and she just was on a great show. And I had the most vivid dream that night that I was one of Gwen Stefani's backup dancers. And I'm not going to lie, it felt amazing. I was kind of on this like imaginary, yet it felt real high for a couple weeks because I was like, I'm one of her backup dancers. Maybe you really want to have kids one day. Maybe that's something you really want. Imagine that like moment the first time you're holding them or walking them down the aisle. Like, picture these big, I've come full circle, I've arrived moments. And I want you to really imagine you're there. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What do you do? Like, use all of your senses to really put yourself in that moment and imagine how you would feel. So awesome. I love these big moments. I want us all to have more of them. But what I also want you to think about is imagine you had that big moment. Now I want you to imagine it's Tuesday. What happens on Tuesday in this dream life? It's just interesting to think about. We want these big things because we imagine our life is going to be so drastic and so different and so amazing and so wonderful and so full of all this good stuff. And I hope that. But what I want you to also see is there's always Tuesday. Life and these big moments are amazing, but life happens in the little moments. They happen on a Tuesday. What do we do on Tuesday? We wake up, we caffeinate, we move our bodies, we take a shower, we get ready for the day, we go to work, maybe we deal with traffic, we make dinner plans, we watch a new episode of Ted Lasso. Maybe we're getting like pinged with instant messages all day. We've got a to-do list. We make decisions, we eat dinner, we socialize, we play on our phones, we go to bed. It's a Tuesday. Now, maybe there's some like fun things in here where you're doing it in a nicer house or you're driving a car that you've really wanted. For me, I love when someone else blow dries my hair. Maybe I'm going to like Dry Bar to get ready for the day and someone else is blow drying my hair. Okay, I'm not saying you can't like imagine these like fun things that you may want, but what I want you to see is having all of that stuff. It's really not all that different from today. The big moments are what we're constantly chasing, but the little moments are what make the big moments so exciting and rewarding, and they're where we live life. I think of it like music. The reason music sounds good is because there's a noise and a rest, a noise and quiet. Sound, quiet, sound, quiet. If it was just like a constant note, constant noise without any rest, without that quietness in between the sounds, it would sound terrible and annoying. And you'd be like, please turn off that sound. It's the same with life. We need Tuesday. We need that rest. We need that quiet. We need those moments in between the big events. Keep wanting them, but start living and loving Tuesdays. Now, I say Tuesday like any day of the week, but to me, Tuesday is just like, it's a Tuesday. There's nothing special about it. The truth is, having all of those amazing things, while fun, and I say, sure, keep chasing them, your Tuesday looks a lot the same as what it is today. So what I would offer to you is to think, what do you love about Tuesday? What do you not love? What do you want to change? If you were having those big, phenomenal, full circle moments, what would you be doing differently on Tuesday? What would you not be doing? What would you be doing? And start living that Tuesday today. We don't need to wait to have arrived, for the big thing to happen, to be on the stage, to get the success, to feel fulfilled, to go on the vacation, to have the kids, to be famous. We don't have to wait for that to happen in order to enjoy how it might feel when it does. Start feeling that way today. Believe it or not, your chances are substantially higher in actually reaching that goal. And when you reach the goal, it'll be fun. But you will have already enjoyed it all along the way. So you'll just get to continue to enjoy your life. Live for Tuesdays. They're amazing, great days. I hope you have big dreams, big things you want. Don't judge yourself. Don't feel bad. It's okay to want. I believe the more we have, the more we can give, which is what really fills us all up and what the world needs right now. So keep being you, keep being awesome. You got this. We'll talk soon. If what you're learning from this podcast is helping, this is just the beginning. Each week, I offer a limited number of coffee chats so that you and I can connect one-on-one and talk specifically about what's going on for you. You'll leave this call feeling more hopeful and motivated, but I'm also going to teach you a few things to try right away to get unstuck. Space is very limited and these are free, so grab your spot before they're gone. Click the link in the show notes or go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/chat and sign up today. You got this.